Armed Forces recruiters from Lake Erie to the Ohio River, veterans of all generations and branches of military service, and especially to the young men and women who will soon be wearing the uniform of a grateful Ohio and nation. Welcome to the annual United States Armed Forces Career Commitment Ceremony. This auspicious event celebrates those high school students who are joining the military. This ceremony is hosted by the Ohio Department of Education, Ohio Department of Veteran Services, Ohio Air and Army National Guard, United Services Organization in partnership with the offices of the Governor and Lieutenant Governor, the Honorable Mike DeWine and the Honorable John Husted, and the Military Interstate Children's Compact Commission for the state of Ohio. Providing musical accompaniment this morning are 58 talented young musicians who have traveled 3 hours one way from Anthony Wayne Local Schools to perform for us and our future service members. From Lucas County, we welcome the Anthony Wayne High School Symphonic Winds under the direction of Roy Young. Anthony Wayne High School is a 2017 Purple Star Award honoree. The Purple Star designation is awarded by the Ohio Department of Education to pre-K through 12 schools that show a major commitment to students and families connected to our nation's military. Purple Star is an Ohio-born honor that is sweeping the nation. This award can now be found replicated in a total of 34 states and counting. Since the April 2017 launch of Purple Star during Month of the Military Child at the Museum of the United States Air Force in Dayton, the nation has clearly followed Ohio's lead on this sacred, shared mission and continues to do so. The Collegiate Purple Star was just launched by Department of Higher Education Chancellor Randy Gardner yesterday. The Collegiate Purple Star is similar to Purple Star for pre-K and is another first-in-the-nation initiative. Collegiate Purple Star was announced at Hilliard-Davidson High School. Hilliard-Davidson is a 2020 Purple Star Award honoree. Ohio is now the only state in the union in which a student can be enrolled at a Purple Star preschool all the way up to a Purple Star university. Way to go, Team Ohio. And now, please stand for the presentation of the colors. Leading us today from Franklin County is the Naval JROTC from Central Crossing High School in the Southwestern Local District, under the leadership of future Sailor Cadet Commanding Officer Michaela Garner. Please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. Leading us today are students from Central Elementary School of the Lexington Local District in Richland County. These students are under the guidance of their Purple Star School Liaison and Central's third grade teacher, Jillian Noblet, who's also a proud United States Air Force spouse. Jillian's husband, Doug, is a tech sergeant in Ohio's Air National Guard.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Central's Purple Star students here today with their service member parents include Remington Pratt and Father Austin, Riley Michael and Father Matt, Malaya Wyatt and Mother Alicia, Park Davis and Father George, Emily Schonauer and Father Ken, Delaney Schaefer and Father Nate, and Olivia Casto and Mother Katie and Father Michael. These students are the children of service members at the 179th Airlift Wing. Their moms and dads have risen to the ranks of Sergeant Major, Tech Sergeant, and Master Sergeant in Ohio's Army and Air National Guard. Please welcome our Mill kids from Central Elementary, a 2019 Purple Star Award honoree. Please remain standing for our national anthem, performed today by Brandy Watkins. Mrs. Watkins is a leading volunteer with Ohio's USO and spouse of Colonel Jeff Watkins. She will be accompanied this morning by the Anthony Wayne Symphonic Winds.
Oh, say, can you sing by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, all the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets reclaimed the bombs bursting in them, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does the star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of free and the home of the brave.
Please be seated. Educator Todd Sams has risen to the rank of Sergeant First Class in the United States Army Reserves. SFC Sams is a senior religious affairs non-commissioned officer. SFC Sams is the Purple Star school liaison and history teacher at William Henry Harrison High School. Harrison is a 2018 Purple Star Award honoree. Please welcome Sergeant First Class Sams with today's opening remarks.
Good morning. Can you hear me all right? Did I get it adjusted? So I brought my team with me because every one of you out here knows that you need a team to do all of this. We need a team, so I decided to bring my team today. We're involved right now with a military marathon that's in support of the USO that we're going to have at the end of May. And these three young ladies, fine Americans, have worked astronomical hours. So if you have any questions about it later on, give them a shout. But I just needed my team with me today, so I shall proceed. 35 years ago, I stood in your same position, young, enlisted in the military during my final months of high school. I experienced so much as I served 6 years in the Ohio National Guard in the infantry. But by then, I was teaching middle school in Ohio, and after my contract, I left the service. 20 years later, I embraced the call of God and re-enlisted to serve again during a time of war when I was needed. Over the last 9 years in the United States Army Reserve, I've been blessed with a little bit of understanding and insight I want to share with you. And these gentlemen in the front row already know this. Bottom line is this: you're about to do something that less than 1% of Americans currently are doing. You have chosen to serve your nation and earn what others are taking for granted. It will not be easy. In fact, you'll question yourself many times over these next few years, especially this summer. But You will remember this time for your entire life. Dare I say, for many of you, it will define you. With that in mind, I thought about a speech that General Eisenhower gave in 1944 as his troops were about to invade Nazi Europe and save the world. With humility and with respect, I've altered the speech to your endeavor, and it is my prayer for you today. So in the words of General Eisenhower, spoken by me, military enlistees, outstanding service members, family, and honored guests, may the sacrifices and devotion of our fellow military service members over the past 247 years humble us and guide us in our sacred duties as members of this great United States military and encourage us in these endeavors. Enlistees, you are about to embark on a great personal crusade towards which many of you have striven many years, and the eyes of your schools, your communities, Ohio, and the United States are upon you. May the hopes and prayers of your families, your friends, and your nation march with you as you venture into this challenge. As you proceed as free men and women, may you embrace victory after victory as you face the road ahead. We have full confidence in your courage, your devotion to duty, and the skills that you will learn in training. We accept and expect nothing less than success. Godspeed, God bless, good luck, and let us all beseech the blessings of the Almighty God upon this great and noble undertaking. Amen. Thank you.
Next to the stage is Sherry Ems, Executive Director of the United Services Organization of Ohio and a crucial member of the Thomas D. Rutan State Council for the Military Interstate Children's Compact Commission here in the Buckeye State. Mrs. Ems is responsible for our 88 counties as well as parts of northern Kentucky and West Virginia. She graduated with a business administration and management degree from the College of Mount St. Joseph, now Mount St. Joseph University. The USO's mission is to keep service military members connected to family, home, and country throughout their service. Ladies and gentlemen, Director Ems.
Thank you. On behalf of USO Ohio, I want to say how honored I am to be here to support this commitment ceremony. To all our future military, your family and friends, I want you to know that the USO will be here for you. We have been around for 81 years with the sole focus of taking care of our men and women in uniform. From the moment you swear in until the moment you leave, the USO will be there to take care of you right by your side. No matter where your military career will take you, always seek out the USO. I guarantee you will be welcomed by a friendly face and a little slice of home away from home. There are many organizations out there supporting our military. However, no other organization has the history and the track record of military support like the USO. We provide support and comfort in our USO lounges at places like the Military Entrance Processing Station right here in Columbus, Ohio. You'll find lounges in airports across the country. There will be centers on installations as close as Wright-Patterson Air Force Base and as far away as Djibouti or Germany or Poland. Make sure to seek out one of our 280 locations worldwide. Whether you need a cold bottle of water and a snack or a place to sit and relax and unwind, the USO will be here for you. While our organization may have changed throughout the years, our mission remains the same. We will be here to serve you while you serve our country. Congratulations to each one of you as you embark on a very noble career. Thank you so much.
Colonel Patrick G. Miller is the 88th Air Base Wing and Installation Commander at Wright-Patterson. Colonel Miller entered the Air Force in December of 1997 as a distinguished graduate of the Reserve Officer Training Corps at the Pennsylvania State University. A career civil engineer, he has served at 5 base-level assignments, as a course director and instructor at the Civil Engineer and Services School and at Air Staff and Air Mobility Command Headquarters tours. His expeditionary experience includes 5 deployments. Colonel Miller commands one of the largest air base wings in the Air Force, with more than 5,500 Air Force military, civilian, and contractor employees. The wing provides support and services to one of the most expansive, diverse, and organizationally complex bases. Please welcome Colonel Miller.
I appreciate it, and I appreciate the kind introduction. I really appreciate not hearing boos when I was introduced as having graduated from Penn State. You know, that is tough being the guy in charge of Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Ohio State country, but I'm a Big Ten guy all the way. I'd like to start with just a few thank yous. First, to my teammates in the front row, and to all of our veterans out there, thanks for your service and sacrifice. Thanks for building us a foundation. Thanks for showing us the way. We truly appreciate your service. Thank you. To the folks in the middle here, I'm going to get to you in a second. But I need you to look left and right because you're supported here by family, by friends. Moms, dads, brothers, sisters know that they are going to serve and sacrifice just as much as you. They're going to worry about you. They're going to think about you. But also know that they built a foundation in you to succeed. They armed you and equipped you to get after the things that you're going to get after. So I need you to look left and right, blow a kiss, wave, and say thank you to your loved ones. All right, signees, you're about to embark on an amazing adventure. Thanks for being part of that less than 1%, and you're going to hear that over and over again. And I hope you never hear thank you enough, because what you're about to do is something your friends and family may never have an opportunity to do. You're committing to serving and defending your nation. To be successful, anchor yourself on character and competence. Character's all about you. It's who you are. Don't lose yourself. Like I said, your parents, your community, your school, they have forged you into the person you are today. Our military and our nation is strong because of our diversity. So don't lose yourself, but also recognize that you are entering a service, Army, Navy, Marines, Air Force, Coast Guard, Space Force, and they have their own foundational core values. But that does not take away who you are. You embrace those core values as your foundation. You integrate who you are, your character, your personal self-being, your individual morals, values, and ethics, and be the best person that you can be the best service member that you can be. And as you go forward, strive to get better each and every day. And that's where your competence comes into play. It's going to be hard. I'm telling you, it's going to be hard. But you've got teammates to your left and right that are going to help you get through it. So work on your competence, because when we stop getting better, we lose our competitive edge. And know that your respective services are going to hone you into the warfighting machine that we need you to be. And so I'll end the way I started, with a simple thank you. Thanks for your service, your sacrifice. Thanks for all you've done in getting to this point. Thanks for all you're going to do for your nation as you move forward. And I look forward to being one of your teammates. Take care.
Prior to her appointment as director of the Ohio Department of Veterans Services, Major General Debra Ashenhurst, a member of Governor DeWine's cabinet, retired from the United States Army and the National Guard in October of 2015 after more than 37 years of service. General Ashenhurst served as Adjutant General, commanding the 16,000 service members here in Ohio. Her career culminated in serving as a special assistant to the Vice Chief, National Guard Bureau in Washington, D.C. Major General Ashenhurst administers the department through leadership in providing opportunities and resources for our veterans communities through advocacy, collaboration, and partnerships. Please welcome the Director of the Ohio Department of Veterans Services, Major General Ashenhurst.
Hello, how y'all doing? I have to start by talking to the people here and the people here, the parents, the grandparents, the aunts, the uncles, the neighbors, congratulations. You've raised one fine young person. It's a pretty exclusive group they're joining, and you're going to hear that repeatedly. So why are these young people so special? You all probably know. You know, it's not an easy thing. You don't just get to join the military anymore. It's pretty competitive, and it's hard to get into. You don't just get to say, hey, I'm going to go in the Army, and thank goodness the judges anymore don't say you're going to jail or you're going to the Army. It used to be. I've heard of that. It was way before my time. So it's a pretty exclusive group that they're joining here. And as you've heard, well, let me put another statistic in your book there. Less than 1/3 of the population of our state that's in this age that we want to recruit from, so that's like 17 to 24, less than 1/3 are eligible to join our military. Now that puts them in a pretty exclusive group right there, right? And why are these people so special that they get to join our greatest fighting force? Because they have great character. That means they haven't been in trouble with the law. Because they're in good physical condition. They're in good mental condition. That's why I credit the parents and the grandparents and the neighbors, because that doesn't happen automatically. You've made a difference. You know, they're educated. You just can't join the military by default when you can't graduate from high school anymore. It's a pretty exclusive group. So I'm very grateful for the diligence that you have had, the difference you have made for these young people to be able to join our United States military. So today's military isn't easy. Now these gentlemen fought in some horrific wars and had some great technology for the day. But today, it's a really highly technical thing to serve in the military. It takes a lot of education, and they're just starting on, and I don't mean this high school education. The education they're going to get with the military is really going to give them some grit, but it's really pretty highly technical, and it's challenging. It's challenging mentally, it's challenging physically, it's challenging spiritually. And these people are stepping up to this task. So all right, you all down this section, here's your chance. I'm going to give you the opportunity to sound off by branch. I want to know who's here. Who's joining the United States Army? Seriously, am I going to be embarrassed by the Air Force? Who's joining the United States Army? Who's joining the United States Navy? Hey, you got some support from the front row. Who's joining the United States Marines? I may have staged that one. Who's joining the United States Coast Guard? Yeah, excellent. Who's joining the United States Air Force? Sorry, I went out of order, Colonel. Who's joining the United States Space Force? You got some work to do, cadet. Hey, as you all have heard, you are pretty exclusive. You know, when we say less than 1%, I would tell you, just looked up the statistics this morning, the most current statistics are less than 0.75% of the population of our country ever wear the colors of our nation, ever serve in our United States military. You are pretty special, and I'm very grateful that you're willing to do this. Kind of a strange time in our lives right now as military members, because it's kind of post-war, but we aren't, look what's happening over there now, so we don't know what's going to happen and how we're going to use our military. So it's kind of a strange time. But I tell you, it's probably the best time for you. It's the best time for you to have this opportunity to see how our military functions and what we do. You know, the fact that you're doing this just shows us that you're selfless, that you are honest, that you have respect and you want to earn respect, and that you have a really strong work ethic. That's an important thing in our United States military. And what you're doing now is continuing the work and the reputation as incredible veterans of our foreign wars, of World War II, and of Korea. So those are big shoulders you're standing on. Don't fail them. Welcome to the greatest fighting force in the world.
Major General John C. Harris, Jr. is the Adjutant General of Ohio's National Guard. He is a member of Governor DeWine's cabinet and is responsible for the command of the Ohio Army and Air National Guard and the military readiness of the Ohio Militia. The Ohio National Guard consists of the Army National Guard, Air National Guard, Military Reserve, and Naval Militia. General Harris began his military career in 1981 when he enlisted in the Ohio Army National Guard. He received a commission in 1984 through Officer Candidate School. He is commanded at the platoon, detachment, company, and squadron levels while serving in staff assignments. Recent prior assignments include Chief of Staff for Joint Force Headquarters, Deputy Chief of Staff for Personnel, and Commander of Task Force Lancer in Kosovo. Please welcome, to provide special remarks and administer the oath of enlistment, the Adjutant General for the State of Ohio, Major General Harris.
Thank you. And for everyone in this section who laughed when he said 1981, we'll do push-ups later. Okay? Welcome to the profession of arms. And I'm very deliberate when I use the term profession, because everything that you do, every characteristic of the vocation about which you're about to undertake is that of a profession. You see, every profession has some sort of initial entry validation or certification requirements. If you're a doctor, you have to pass boards. If you're a lawyer, you have to pass the bar. In our profession, you have to pass initial training. You will not call yourself a sailor or a soldier or a Marine or a guardian or an airman until you validate through that initial training called basic training. And it will be tough. You would never want to fly in an airliner where the pilot had a simple initial training. You don't want to be served by a doctor or treated by a doctor whose training was simple. And your nation does not want to be served by young men and women who've had an easy path. You see, struggle is necessary for human growth and development, and your struggle in initial training is essential to certifying you as an American warfighter. So don't quit. Don't waver. Parents, when they call you to tell you how hard it is, give them a verbal kick in the butt over the phone and tell them get back at it. Because our nation needs it to be tough for you, and you'll come out better for it. Another characteristic of a profession is that it has a common language. It has common vernacular that's unique to the profession. It polices itself. It polices its own. And your military will take care of its own good order and discipline. And you'll be someday responsible for that. And a profession enjoys a common ethic, a common ethos. And regardless of the service that you're joining, you will find that the base of that ethos is in the oath that you're about to take, the base of that ethic. And the great thing about the American warfighter is that if you tell them the task and why they're doing it, they will run through walls for you. And as a result, three of the most magical words that we as commanders can use are the words "in order to." Because when we give a soldier, a sailor, a Marine, an airman a task, "in order to" is the why. I want you to seize this bridge and hold it in order to allow freedom of maneuver for friendly forces. Or I need you to seize this bridge to deny movement for enemy forces. So the "in order to" matters, because if you know my intent, even if you don't hear from me, you can get the job done. The mission may be the same, but the intent certainly defines how you operate and gives you the latitude to use innovation and initiative, which are key watermarks of the American fighter. And I tell you that because our founding fathers gave us the intent of why we serve. You may not know this, but those key words, "in order to," are found in the very Constitution that you're about to take an oath to. You see, when they signed the preamble, the cover page to the Constitution, they very easily could have said, "We the people do ordain and establish this Constitution," and they could have signed it. Because that cover page was just that. They were signing up saying, "This is what we believe in." but they gave us the why. Said, we the people, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice and ensure domestic tranquility, we provide for the common defense, we promote the general welfare, and here's the best part, we secure the blessings of liberty for ourselves and our posterity. Then they said, we do ordain and establish this Constitution. So if you ever question the intent of why you serve, go back to that base document. And I said the best part is for ourselves and our posterity. You see, after today, this is all about you. The musicians, the parents, our elected officials, and our distinguished visitors are all about you. But after today, after your oath, it's never about you. Ourselves and our posterity. Your job, your commitment is to ensure that generations and generations and generations that come after you enjoy the same honor and the same respect and the same trust that you receive today. So when that person comes up to you in uniform and thanks you for your service, your response should be, you're worth it, because even your service is never about you, it's about them. And your responsibility is to ensure that the most honored and trusted institution on the face of the planet remains that way for generations to come. That's your charge. That's your challenge. That's the oath that you're about to take. And as previously stated, I'm so honored to be here with you, and it will be my honor to serve alongside each and every one of you. And for the parents and the families, thank you. You truly are the force behind the force, and we do it for you. So for those of you who are about to enter this prestigious profession, the hollow ranks of the profession of arms, please stand to your feet, please rise, and prepare to take the oath. And parents, if you want to move around to take pictures, feel free to do that. Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear to support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, to bear true faith and allegiance to the same, to obey the orders of the President of the United States and the orders of the officers appointed over me according to regulation and the Uniform Code of Military Justice. So help me God. Take your seats. Congratulations. And welcome to the profession of arms. God bless you.
And now, future soldiers, Marines, sailors, airmen, guardsmen, please make your commitment known by signing the document before you, which serves as your pledge to fight for our freedoms and defend this great nation. The symphonic winds of Anthony Wayne High School will now play the branch service songs, and attending veterans and future service members are encouraged to stand when their branch is announced and their song is cued. Army. Navy. Coast Guard. Marines. Air Force and Space Force. And now the Interim State Superintendent of Public Instruction, Dr. Stephanie K. Siddens. Dr. Siddens previously served as the Senior Executive Director of the Ohio Department of Education Center for Student Supports. In this role, she oversaw implementation of the Whole Child Framework, early learning, special education, gifted education, nutrition, prevention education, positive behavioral intervention and supports, social and emotional learning, school climate, behavioral health, and school-based health. Dr. Siddens received her doctorate in educational psychology from the University of Iowa and a bachelor's degree in psychology from Coe College in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. A mother of two, Dr. Siddens takes a child-first approach to decision-making. She hopes every student will develop a lifelong love of learning thanks to a high-quality education that meets their individual needs. Please welcome Dr. Siddens.
Good afternoon. Oops, can you hear me? Okay, there we go. It's my honor and privilege to be here to celebrate Ohio students who have made a career commitment to the United States Armed Forces. Just moments ago, your signature again affirmed your commitment and dedication to the ultimate public service. Ohio recognizes military service as a meaningful post-high school career pathway for students who wish to enlist and proudly supports students who commit to serve. Ohio's strategic plan for education, Each Child, Our Future, has one goal, and that is to see that all of Ohio's high school graduates find success upon graduation. And there is no higher honor and achievement than to serve in the military. Being with you today is especially meaningful to me because my own father committed to serve in the U.S. Army as a young person, and after an incredible career and 2 tours in Vietnam, he retired as a U.S. Army major, and then later after his retirement, he pursued an education career, becoming a teacher and school superintendent. And so the pride I have for my father is the same as the pride I feel for you today. I could not have more gratitude or admiration for you than I feel right now. Families and supporters, what a proud moment this must be for you. You have supported your children throughout the educational journey that they were on, and you have chosen to help them serve their country. What a courageous, responsible, caring leaders that they will become and that you have grown. Thank you. The Department of Education, Ohio, and the nation thank all of you for your support. Students, thank you. Thank you for all of your hard work. You earned high school credits, you took tests, you forged plans for the future. Thank you for your diligence. You consulted with your family, guidance counselors, teachers, military recruiters, members of the community to learn more about where you could best contribute, and took the necessary steps to earn a place in our nation's military. Thank you for your courage. You bravely and honorably committed and your talents to the service. While in the military, you will find yourself living in other states and countries, but your home of record will always be Ohio. And when your military service is complete, Ohio will always welcome you back home. The knowledge and skills and experience that you will gain during your service are valuable to Ohio's communities and employers. We may be biased, but we think veterans make especially great educators, and the department has a program to assist all who wish to bring their experience to the classroom and inspire future generations. Ohio is home to 353 schools that have made the commitment to support military-connected families and students. These schools earn the Purple Star designation, as you heard earlier, for raising awareness and putting in place a system of supports for military children and families. And we're thrilled earlier this week that we also had the Ohio Department of Higher Education announce the expansion of that great program to support military families at the college level as well. The Collegiate Purple Star Award will recognize colleges and universities in Ohio that are supportive and inclusive of all military-connected students. It's clear that Ohio is committed to easing any transition experienced by military children as part of the Interstate Compact on Educational Opportunity for Military Children. The Purple Star program and this commitment ceremony are just some of the ways that Ohio demonstrates its commitment to supporting its military sons and daughters. So today we celebrate. We celebrate all of you, what you've accomplished, your achievements in school and future military career. Enjoy your upcoming graduation and honor your achievements. Take pride in the decision that you've made to enlist, and we are so proud of you. Thank you so much.
The graduation cords, carefully woven in red, white, and blue, are compliments of the USO of Ohio. Future service members, when your branch is called, please stand and come to attention and remain standing. Will the future members of the United States Air Force stand at this time? Will the future members of the United States Space Force stand at this time? Will the future members of the United States Navy stand at this time? Will the future members of the United States Coast Guard stand at this time? Will the future members of the United States Marine Corps stand at this time? And will the future members of the United States Army stand at this time? May each of you wear with pride these eternal colors of red, white, and blue this spring at your high school graduation ceremony. Daughters and sons of Ohio, kindly place your cord around your neck. As it reads on each certificate of commitment, your dedication to the United States of America and the ideals of our nation and communities is commendable, and Ohio is grateful to call you one of its own. Congratulations. You may be seated. Once and not long ago, Ohio previously sent forth daughters and sons to take up the nation's uniform. Perhaps members of your own family wore the cloth of the armed forces of the United States. The first salute is rich in history and tradition. Ladies and gentlemen, we have history in this room with us today. Veterans of World War II and the Korean War and the Vietnam era have joined us from far and wide across Ohio. The greatest generation is more than a history book. Living history is in this sacred space. Ladies and gentlemen, these Ohioans flew missions, stormed beaches, liberated peoples, and spilled blood on behalf of Ohio and the United States of America. Women and men who formerly wore the uniform of all branches and conflicts in this room, you have saved continents and countries, millions of lives and liberties. Today, we recognize those special and fellow Ohioans who are with us today. Those who served in World War II, Sergeant Robert Coyne, Army, liberated concentration camps. Sergeant Walter Oka, Army. Those who served in the Korean War, Petty Officer 3rd Class Art DeVore, Navy. Staff Sergeant Roger Sand, Army. Private 1st Class Richard Post, Army. And those who served during the Vietnam era. Tech Sergeant Charles Jones, Air Force. Sergeant John Dixon, Army. Staff Sergeant Richard Tellini, Air Force. Spec 4 Dale Walker, Army. Spec 4 Mike Delaney, Army. And Staff Sergeant Richard Townsley, Air Force. As future service members embark on their school's graduation and branches boot camp, we reflect on the journeys of these veterans, Ohio's own, truly the very best of the Buckeyes. Members of the class of 2022, our future service members, attention to order, facing front and center. Please stand. For American veterans of all generations here today, World War II to service in the 21st century, attention to orders. Please stand. Future service members, hand salute. Esteemed veterans, return salute. Attention command, at ease. Please be seated. As far as the people and posterity stand in this place, from March 1st, 1803 to this day and hour, the greatest generation and veterans of Ohio have commissioned a new generation of soldiers, sailors, Marines, airmen, and guardsmen to carry on the tradition of honor, courage, and commitment. The Honorable John Husted was elected to serve as Lieutenant Governor of the state of Ohio. Husted also previously served as Secretary of State, Speaker of the House of Representatives, and a member of the Senate. Lieutenant Governor Husted started his life in a foster home before being adopted by his loving parents, Jim and Judy. He is the oldest of 3 children and was raised in Williams County. The small community instilled in him the importance of faith, family, and hard work that serve as the foundation of his public service. He graduated from Montpelier High School and earned both his bachelor's and master's degrees from the University of Dayton. Throughout his time in elected office, Lieutenant Governor Husted has demonstrated repeatedly his ability to get things done that have a positive impact on Ohio. Here with him today is the Second Lady of Ohio, Mrs. Tina Husted. Please welcome for the keynote address of today's ceremony our Lieutenant Governor, the Honorable John Husted.
Well, Governor DeWine, First Lady Fran DeWine, my wife Tina, and I would like to congratulate you and thank you for your service. It is a true honor for me to be here today, and I am here because, as I always say, we must celebrate what we value. We must celebrate what we value. We must take time to do that in our world, to celebrate what we value. And we value service and freedom and your commitment to both. General Harris mentioned this, but I'll offer this to you in a little different perspective from a historical point of view to answer the question why we do this. I know late into a ceremony, a history lesson isn't always the most welcome thing to do. But I hope you'll bear with me as I do it, because as these gentlemen in the front row know, wisdom is a tough thing, because while we wish we could just give it to you, we know you have to earn it. And there have been generations of Americans who've helped give us that wisdom by earning it. Let me first discuss service, what it means to serve. There are many ways we can serve our fellow citizens. I've always liked what Gandhi said about service. He said, if you want to find yourself, lose yourself in service to others. And you can serve in many ways. You can be a teacher, which we have some here today, thank you for that service. Could be a nurse, could be an elected official, could be a police, fire, EMS servant. You might just serve as a volunteer in your church, in your community. What that means is that you're giving something of yourself to others because you believe that there is a higher purpose for your life than serving yourself. But you have chosen one of the highest forms of service, service in the U.S. military, service for the United States of America, which is and remains the beacon of hope for the cause of freedom in the world. That's what our country means to so many in this world. And unfortunately, we have to often experience painful reminders of the value of freedom and what our nation's role is in preserving it. You need not look any further than to what's happening in Ukraine at the moment to understand how much people are willing to sacrifice for their own freedom, how treasured it is, and how often we as a world are unprepared or unappreciative of the freedom that we have. We must and cannot ever take it for granted. And I want to turn to a little bit deeper discussion of freedom, because I talked about service. Service in the cause of freedom is what you are about to undertake. Freedom is not free. It has been won and is daily preserved and secured and maintained by sacrifice. Freedom, as I often have to remind my teenage children, does not mean that you get to do whatever you want, whenever you want. Anybody who's ever raised teenagers knows exactly what I mean. What is special about America is that we were the first nation to enshrine individual freedom and rights in the founding documents of our nation. With freedom comes responsibility. And I want to repeat what I just said again. What is special about America is we were the first nation to enshrine individual freedom and rights in the founding documents of our nation. It's the idea of what America was all about. In our Constitution, the Bill of Rights protects freedom of speech, expression, press, religion, private property rights, trial by jury of our peers, our civil liberties. There was no country that did this before us. No country in the world that enshrined in its creation the idea of individual freedom. Throughout all of human history, that was not the case. In America, we are conceived of the idea that individual rights are not given to us by our leaders, but rather that each of us are, as it says in our Declaration of Independence, endowed by our Creator with certain inalienable rights, and then among these are the pursuit of life, among these are the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. It's our founding document. It's what it says. These rights throughout history were not granted to individuals because throughout all of human history, it was either a king or a queen or an emperor or a dictator that said, I will grant to the citizenry the rights that we are willing to give them. But America said no, that all of us have these inalienable rights. That's what made America different. But these rights that were exclaimed on paper ultimately had to be won by military service. They were ideas on paper that we believed in and we held dear, but they were not exercisable without the commitment and the sacrifice of military service. It took that military service to empower a nation to make them real. It was that sacrifice that led to the creation of our Constitution, where we earned the right to continue to build a more perfect union, which General Harris mentioned, to continue to build a more perfect union. And throughout the history of our country, it has fallen on the men and women of the military to secure and advance these rights. It was done very notably in the Civil War, where to that point our ideas were perfect, but our execution of those rights were not. And we won rights for more Americans. That has happened throughout our nation's history. But through World War I and World War II, Korea, Vietnam, we had to protect those rights and values from foreign invaders and foreign influence, just as we do today, and it is essential that we continue to do so, because those values are constantly under threat from foreign influence. Everything we advance in the cause of freedom must be protected by the willingness of a free people to defend it, and that's what you raised your right hand and took the oath of office to do today. It's so important. By agreeing to join the United States Armed Forces, that's what you're agreeing to do, to preserve and protect and advance the cause of freedom. So indeed, we are gathered here today to celebrate what we value. We sure value your service. We value your willingness to serve and protect the values that we hold dear. We honor those who've given us that opportunity, and we celebrate your commitment to making it so for our future. And I would like to close on a note as I reflect on service and freedom and sacrifice, which is again what this is all about. Caring about a higher ideal and principle and our willingness to sacrifice and serve to make it real in our lives and in this world. I close with a quote from the Apostle Paul in this letter to the Galatians. You, my brothers and sisters, are called to be free, but do not indulge in the flesh, but rather serve one another. And may all of you find reward in your service, and may God protect you and bless you as you do. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lieutenant Governor Husted. Closing out our 2022 ceremony with a few remarks, serving as the charge to this year's class, is Training Squadron Commander Victoria Murnix of Detachment 645 at The Ohio State University. Part of the Air Force's ROTC, this command is also known as the 18th Scarlet Squadron. Please welcome Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Murnix.
Thank you, Lieutenant Governor, and all the prior speakers. Ladies, gentlemen, future military members, today we have celebrated and recognized you, the future of the military. I am honored to be here, and as someone who has recently been in your boots, hopefully some of my experiences and advice in the form of 4 main goals will help inspire and guide you in your future service. Being new in any environment is hard. Locked-on military training was definitely a shock for me at first. But I am incredibly grateful for the second-year cadets, who are now second lieutenants in the Air Force and Space Force, who helped me in several ways. They helped me with my push-up form, with learning how to wear the uniform, and they helped me step outside of my comfort zone. They helped me gain confidence and develop into who I am today. Now, as a training squadron commander at Ohio State, I have the amazing opportunity to develop leadership for future cadets, specifically 30 cadets at our ROTC detachment. They have embarked on the path to become future military officers. My first piece of advice for you is to seek out a mentor, someone experienced who can help you along and facilitate your improvement. Be an active follower and learner until you learn enough to be a mentor yourself. Then use your knowledge to help other people. Remember that mentorship is a two-way street and both parties benefit from one another. Both parties learn. Continually be involved in mentorship. That is goal number 1. This brings me to my second goal, which is to continually learn. Be a lifelong learner. During your time in the military, you will likely hear the phrase, "You need to read to lead," and that is entirely true. The greatest and most educated people and leaders read and have a schedule on a regular basis. They listen to audiobooks or podcasts and absorb information in those ways. I personally developed an annual reading list to help me stay accountable for my goals, and I encourage you to do the same, or something parallel at least. Reading both fiction and nonfiction helps develop the hard and soft analytical skills in your brain. Keep your mind active. Ask questions. Do research on subjects that interest you. Stay curious and be a lifelong learner. That is goal number 2. My third piece of advice is to bring energy and enthusiasm to every role you take on. I say this entirely based on personal experience, because I've seen firsthand the power of morale to benefit team cohesion and productivity. Whether in a leadership or followership role, it is imperative that team motivation stays high. And motivation is something that everyone on the team has the power to impact. Yes, the military is a very serious organization, but that doesn't mean it's unenjoyable. Find out how to bring joy to your position, maybe by being extra loud at PT, or giving special shout-outs to those who take on tasks that go normally unnoticed. Motivational actions, even the small ones, will make a world of difference. Teams are built and brought closer through team meals and social events together, but always have in the forefront of your mind to maintain professionalism. To help you and your team be the energy source. That is goal number 3. My fourth and final piece of advice is control what you can control. This has been my personal motto since high school, and I truly take it to heart. It helped me get through times when I was beating myself up mentally about things that were entirely out of my hands, and I had to step back and realize that. You can and should have goals, but uncontrollable factors may hinder your accomplishment, such as life. I have failed and not met goals in several ways throughout my college and ROTC experience, but I'm still here. I bounced back, and I made a plan for improvement each time. Never dwell on the past. Instead, spend time brainstorming controllable methods for improvement and overcoming your obstacles. Control everything you can so the uncontrollable factors just fall into place in your favor. Control what you can control. That is goal number 4. In summary, my charge to you, the future of the military, is to 1, continually be involved in mentorship. 2, dedicate yourself to lifelong learning. 3, be the energy source in your organization. And 4, control what you can control. Make each of these 4 goals a priority early on. This will help make your transition to the military smooth and make your experience in the military fulfilling. Thank you all for your commitment to serving the United States military. Go make our country proud.
Thank you, Squadron Commander Murnix. Thank you to the fine musicians and students from Anthony Wayne High School Symphonic Winds for their amazing talents and for traveling all the way from Northwest Ohio. One more round of applause for the Symphonic Winds. And a special thank you to the more than 130 daughters and sons of Ohio who have committed to our country and the United States Armed Forces. Congratulations. On behalf of the Honorable Mike DeWine, 70th Governor of the State of Ohio, the service members who were called up, and the many who were called home, we thank you for attending the annual Armed Forces Career Commitment Ceremony, and we most sincerely congratulate the class of 2022 for joining the legacies of real-life Ohio heroes from the greatest generation. Families and guests are welcome to stay for pictures and salutes and to greet our future service members and distinguished guests to the rear of the ballroom where you see the banners. Good afternoon to all, and God bless America.